What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. On today's episode, we are going to make a couple of adjustments and fix a couple of things that we had happen back at King of the Street Challenge 2024. A lot of that being, we had some technical difficulties. Originally started on the test drive portion, or not the test drive, the 100-mile street drive portion. During the 100-mile street drive, before we took off, we noticed that the speedometer quit working and the mileage counter on the dash had quit working. So then we was in a rush, kind of against the 8 ball to get back to get our dyno session in. So we went to Sarah and was like, hey, this is what's going on. Do you all have an app that can track what we do, where we go, our mileage, and kind of where we go? She said, oh yeah, we've got that covered. Here's this, download it, get your drive in place. So we did that. Come back with just enough time to get all of the sled pull weight out of the truck, get the dyno set up, put on, and roll on the rollers. With that being said, we would run up 100 mile an hour on the roller, and the truck would just flatline. And I was like, man, this is odd. This has never happened before. So we started looking around. Really didn't have a whole lot of things. So I essentially thought that maybe it was something where we had deleted the ABS and all that. Checked all that. That was not the problem. So fast forward, we didn't get that problem fixed on the dyno, unfortunately. We was only able to make a little over 1,100 horsepower, I do believe, if I recall correctly. And it was just hitting 100 mile an hour speed limit. Actually, I think it was 101 mile an hour, now that I think back. But it would just flatline and kind of just shudder and lose all fuel. So fast forward, we done some kind of looking into it a little bit before the drag race portion. I double checked kind of everything up there and in the cab, just where we had done so much to it right before going to KOS. With that being said, however, we found out in the first qualifying practice run for the drag race portion, that we went out there strong, mid-track, hit 100 mile an hour wheel speed, and the truck just nosed over and acted like you cut the key off. You let out of the throttle and it gets back below the 100 or 101, whatever it was. The truck would kind of start, you could feel it pick back up. So I came back, I was like, man, this is very, very odd. What in the world's going on? We had never, really had a problem with that until then. So with that being said, we got to calling. I called CJ at AirDog. By the way, my homie, thank you again. We touched base with having a kind of a remembering who all was there. There was a couple of people that stepped in that was actually there and helped out, and we was just like trying to rack our heads together of what possibly I could be overlooking. So before KOS, the truck had a fiberglass bed and mounted on it before we went to KOS. So during that, me and a couple of people, family members, kind of converted the truck over for KOS in a weekend. So needless to say, we kind of rushed a little bit just to make it, but I was short on time, short on effort, and people to help. So with that being said, outside of that, we got to looking around, me and CJ, and then was racking our brain. We was like, what about the rear diff speed sensor? So we get back there, lo and behold, it was kind of twisted and kicked over like somebody had stepped on it and messed it up. So we was like, what do we do now? So I was going to originally try to call and find a sensor for it. However, that was kind of a task that I couldn't get accomplished in Delaware. So we just simply unhooked all the wiring for the rear diff speed sensor just to see in the next qualifying pass if it would allow us to do anything different or if it limited the truck any more past that. From there, we went up for our second qualifying round. In the second qualifying round, went down through there. I got mid-stroke, and I was like, is this going to happen? Is it going to happen? And boy, it just freight trained right out the backside. And I was like, yes, that's what we needed. This truck will cut anywhere from 105 to 113 mile an hour in eighth on a small tire, 28-10-5. And that's what it's done all year. And I was like, so thankful that we figured it out. Been awesome if we would have been able to see that and figure that out before the dyno portion or during even. But nonetheless, we live, we learn. But anyway, I have not had time to touch the truck, do anything with the truck. Since we kind of come back, it's just been sitting here at the house garage, just hanging out. So today, for this episode, is going to be basically me jumping in with a time lapse, taking all the old broken stuff out. Time lapse video of me going and picking up the parts that I ordered in. They're there, they've been there for a little bit. We're going to go in and snag those, come back, finish the time lapse up of the install, and then we'll actually take the truck for a test drive or put it on the jack stands and see if our mile per hour gauge picks back up and our mileage counter. So without further ado, I'm going to jump in and get this stuff ready. Get the rear of the truck lifted up a little bit so I can get my big self underneath there to kind of get in there and do the work that needs to be done. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into that and start the time lapse. We'll see you guys here in just a second. And we're back. After a little bit longer than I expected, we finally found the culprit and was able to get it out of there. The end was seized and broke off in the diff. So it came out in like 5 or 6 different pieces. But anyway, we were able to get a nice time lapse of that, and now we are going to head out, go grab the new parts, and then we will be right back. I'll catch you all here in just a little bit. Just like that, we're back for a second before we leave, but I figured I would do a somewhat cold start. It's about 35 out today on the Platinum. Y'all get to ride along with me. We're gonna go and pick up parts that we need that has came in, and damn it, sunburn. We will be back here shortly. Catch y'all later. What's up, everybody? We are finally back in the shop at the house. That trip took way longer than it should have. Ended up having to go on the other side of the county to actually find the correct parts that we needed at the hub. So here we got kind of all the shrapnel from all the pieces and stuff that was broken inside of there. This end actually was the original piece that broke off and was just hanging on by the actual harness side on the truck. And here is our new sensor. So without further ado, I'm going to jump in here real quick. This video is getting way longer than it needed to. So I'm going to jump in, set up the time lapse, get this put in, hooked up, and then we will hook up the battery, and we'll see if we've got mile per hour and our mile counter. So bear with me, and I'll get right back with y'all. Thanks. All right, everybody, we've got the installation finished up. Going to, hopefully this goes as planned. Had it locked in 4-wheel drive. And being ornery and don't want to undo anything. So we will do a cold start real quick and test our sensor. Still don't have mile per hour. And still don't have a tripometer. Guess we'll have to dig back into this and see what's going on now. So I guess until next time, figured this was going to be an ultimate fix for that, but obviously we've got some other issues going on. I don't know if it's kick something in the fuse box or whatever, but I'll dig into that, and then we'll possibly tie back into this video. And if not, then once I do get time to dig into that, we will figure out what happened. So anyway, I appreciate you all joining me today, and hope you all enjoyed the content, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and give a share. See y'all later.